last week, I had a hunch that the Packers might upset the Cowboys. I thought they matched up with them really well.
Your Super Bowl pick, you had a hunch they were going to lose in round one?
Yes, because it's all about matchups. And the Packers, I had a feeling about it. That's why on the podcast I said the Packers got a legit chance. I think it's going to be a shootout. The difference is that the Packers were in the shootout and the Cowboys could not keep up with the shootout. But if the Cowboys offense played to the level that they were playing all year, it would have been a very high-scoring game. But I was too afraid to pick the Packers. I said, you know what? No way the Cowboys lose round one. But you know what that means. If my Super Bowl pick goes down to the team and the team that beat the Super Bowl pick, I think the Packers are upsetting the 49ers. And I think that they're being disrespected. I seen the line on Vegas. It's 9.5. It's a 9.5 point spread. The Packers are winning this game.
I would definitely take the points with the Packers.
I'm taking the points with the Packers. The Packers are an elite level football team. And yes, they've had some bad losses. They've had some bad losses to the Buccaneers, to the Panthers, right? But you look at their highlight wins.
They're good,
Wait, what are you talking about?
Ribs
over
here.
Act like they're not good?
No, that's not what you said. You was like an elite level.
They're an elite level team.
I wasn't. All I was doing was actually like elite.
I think their offense is playing at elite level.
That's all. That's what we.
I think they're an elite level team right now. They do so many things well.
Dallas did a lot of their work against second and third string guys.
Oh yeah, I mean, I don't give a fuck what Dallas numbers were. Shits were awful.
No, it was irrelevant.
Here's the thing. Since the Buccaneers and Panthers games, when the defense was terrible, Matt LaFleur has been taking control of the defensive meetings. So he's been in there. And also, Joe Barry.
LaFleur, I'm going to have to start issuing apologies because Jesus.
Joe Barry also is very familiar with West Coast schemes. So I think the game plan against the Cowboys was much easier. Kyle Shanahan is a different animal. And all respect to Kyle Shanahan because I have so much respect for him as what he does on offense. But
Pioneer.
You look at who the Packers have beat this year. They've beaten the Chiefs on the road. They beat the Lions on the road Thanksgiving. Week 18, they beat the Bears. I know they were in a great team, but they were a great defense at the time. And then in round one, they go on the road and they beat the Cowboys. We're talking about beating the Chiefs, Lions, Cowboys all on the road. I don't think being on the road affects this team all that much. And the confidence level that this team is playing with, Jordan Love, how he's playing right now, he's playing like a top 2 quarterback in football. You cannot name me 3 quarterbacks definitively playing better than him right now. He's playing at an MVP level. He's playing elite caliber football. And not only that, but I'm looking at the weaknesses that the 49ers have.
It's not top 3. It's Lamar. It's Josh.
Oh, sorry, I forgot. Yeah, Lamar.
Jordan Love's playing better than Patrick Mahomes right now. That's what I'm saying. I'm not saying Jordan Love is a top 3 quarterback in football.
Damn.
He's playing better than him.
And if you think I'm going to say anything against that, you must not know
And I
me.
think Jordan Love is playing just as good as Josh Allen. Like you cannot say anybody is playing head and shoulders above Jordan Love.
I wouldn't say head and shoulders.
No, how Jordan Love is playing right now, 21 touchdowns to 1 interception.
I'm looking at Dehls. Dehls confused.
He's going to have to do this for more than just this one game against Dallas before I'm saying
he did.
He's,
he's been doing it since week 11.
And all these guys.
Jordan Love's been doing it since week 11. That's when this hot streak started.
Josh did it all year.
Josh didn't do it all year. There were some stretches where he wasn't all that great.
Like 2.
Yeah, but since week 11, Jordan Love has been perfect, borderline perfect. That's how he's been.
I will 100% agree with him. He has been great.
He's been great. I don't really care about it.
The 49ers have some weaknesses that can be exploited.
Here we go.
If you look at
name the weaknesses.
The 2 games that they were susceptible to the run, Cincinnati Bengals, they ran the ball well, and Joe Burrow, of course, played his ass off. The Minnesota Vikings, Kirk Cousins with no Justin Jefferson, they were able to beat the 49ers. The 49ers this year against zone runs are 31st at defending it. The Packers run zone runs 68% of the time, and they're 9th in EPA at it. So this is a 49ers team that they don't defend the run particularly well. And you look at their offensive line, 20th in pass block win rate, 23rd in run block win rate. The other side of it, they're 12th in pass rush win rate, 10th in run stop win rate. So we know they have an elite defensive front. But then you get into late in downs when they have to play from behind. They're 20th in EPA per play and 24th in success rate.
Been saying this for a while.
This offensive line collapses. I went back and I was looking at the games that I felt like were the 49ers' toughest games. We have the Rams, the Cowboys, the Browns, the Bengals, the Vikings, the Ravens. Yes, Rams week 2. Mm-hmm. In those games, the 49ers went 2-4. Brock Purdy, 7 touchdowns to 10 interceptions. And Brock Purdy has thrown 14 touchdowns.
The 10 interceptions were 4 were against the Ravens.
I'm listening.
I'm also listening. I'm just also throwing context.
Even if you want to say,
I didn't think Rams were one of the toughest in comparison to other ones.
And
it
was a tough game because honestly,
Mm-hmm.
I think Purdy did not play well in that game.
He didn't play well.
Nah, he played all right. He didn't play well.
Because he had like 3-4 overthrows.
Even if you don't want to count the Ravens game, it's 7 touchdowns to 6 interceptions.
Ravens counts.
Those teams.
Ravens game counts. I'm just saying
I'm just saying, even if you take the awful game from Purdy, it's still 7 touchdowns to 6 interceptions against the toughest games that I feel like they played.
Agreed.
Brock Purdy this year, 14 touchdowns, 8 interceptions versus teams with a top 15 DVOA. I think the Packers are playing defense at a high level because they're finally playing free. They are playing more physical at the line, man-to-man, and I think that can disrupt the timing of the offense. And this is why I say the Packers are an elite team. They're first in EPA per play versus zone coverage. Third under pressure. 19th versus man coverage, so that's the weakness, but the 49ers don't play man. They play zone. And Jordan Love this year has been the best zone quarterback in the NFL. He's been a top 3 quarterback under pressure in the NFL. Versus the Cowboys, he was under duress and making throws that very few quarterbacks can make. Like I said, they're 4th in EPA per play when they play man coverage on defense. And I think their defensive line is a slept-on unit. A lot of the players the Packers have on their roster are players that lost in the divisional round 2 years ago in 2021. And in that game, I thought Joe Barry had a solid defensive game plan against the 49ers.
He was the star.
What won the Niners the game was the special teams touchdown.
Is that the snow game?
It was a cold game. I don't think it was snowing. It was just cold.
The Packers' inability to move the ball down the field.
On the defensive line, Rashawn Gary is a superstar. Kenny Clark, Devontae White, TJ Slam, Preston Smith, Lucas Van Ness. The only guy that I trust to hold up on the 49ers offensive line is Trent Williams. Everybody else is pretty much a liability. But the Packers can protect Jordan Love. This year, Rasheed Walker, their left tackle, is 2nd in pass block win rate. Zach Tom is 16th in pass block win rate, both above 90%. Josh Myers and Elton Jenkins, both top 20 in pass block win rate. This is the 2nd best pass blocking offensive line in the NFL. So they'll be able to give Jordan Love time in a pocket to either play make and extend plays or win within the pocket. So we're talking about a team that can protect their quarterback better. They're elite versus zone defenses, which is what the Niners play. They're elite versus pressure. They're a great zone running team, which the 49ers are not great at defending, and the Packers are better at defending zone runs, which is the 49ers staple. They're 17, so they're middle in the pack. That's a bigger upgrade than what the 49ers are defending it. Like I said, the 49ers are 2-4 against better comp, and I think their offensive line can get exposed if they fall behind. In the beginning of the Packers game versus the Cowboys, Matt LaFleur, when they won a toss, they received it immediately, and they went down and they scored a touchdown. If they win the toss on the road against San Fran, I expect a similar mindset of aggressiveness. They will go down, they will score, and if you have the Niners playing to where they cannot use a bunch of tricks and motions and you don't have to worry about the run that much, that is a recipe to beat the 49ers, and that's not been a position that Brock Purdy has been in and all that much this season. I think the Packers will take a lead in this game, and I think Jordan Love is going to have another amazing performance. How he's playing right now, he's playing like one of those superstar tier quarterbacks that you need in the playoffs. He can make every single throw, and there's something about how he's playing that makes me believe that he's going to keep playing like this. And I feel like Aaron Rodgers might have been holding Matt LaFleur back because Aaron Rodgers would switch play calls at the line routinely. He wouldn't trust the offense. With Jordan Love, you are getting somebody that is trusting the offense, but that can also make the playmaking plays that Aaron Rodgers makes. So you're getting both, but you're not getting stubbornness. And I think a lot of the times Aaron Rodgers was stubborn, and the last time he played in the playoffs versus the 49ers, he played bad, and I don't think Jordan Love's going to play that way. I think Jordan Love has a great game, and the Packers win. Final score, I got 23-17. Packers are winning on the road.
How the mighty have fallen, man. It goes from the Niners coming out the NFC to the pretty much going to be there.
17.
17 points.
That would be like probably a bottom 3 or 4 game of the year for the Niners, I'm assuming.
The Browns game, which they missed a lot of players.
I think the Vikings game was similar,
Yeah,
wasn't it?
those were the
Viking games,
back-to-back weeks where shit was a little wacky.
Oh, with the injuries. Yeah.
You know, Joel, I'll say, unless I just missed this part of your conversation, you talked a lot about the run defense for both teams and how, yes, the Packers are slightly better when it comes to success rate. But when it comes to dropback EPA and success rate when it comes to dropback, Niners are better in both of those regards. When it comes down to that, I do anticipate that Jordan Love still can have a solid game, even regardless of that fact. But I mean that more so in the sense of the Niners pass offense. I think Brock Purdy will still be able to have an efficient ball game, especially Ayuk. You still have Deebo Samuel, George Kittle. They had a little bit of rest. CMC gets an extra rest with the calf injury that he did pick up late in the season. Trent Williams will be healthy. You're not wrong at all about the offensive line. I do think that it is a pedestrian offensive line being masked by two things: Trent Williams being the best left tackle in the game, and of course Shanahan's scheme with their ability to get the ball out efficiently. But when it comes down to evaluating the run stop and the rush success and the rush EPA on the defensive side of the ball, I feel like that could be a little bit case in point with the idea that, yes, Aaron Jones has been on an insane tear, 4 games in a row of over 100 yards, but it is CMC. So they're going to still have success on the ground regardless. And then also, if he needs to check it down, we know that Brock Purdy has no problem seeing CMC in that regard. When it comes to the defensive side of the ball, I think what it needs to be, the point of emphasis for San Francisco is to get pressure on Jordan Love. Against the Cowboys were able to get pressure, but weren't able to get home enough. I look at the Niners. You have Bosa, you have Chase Young, you have Hargrave or Eric Armstead. You need to be able to put pressure on Jordan Love. And a credit to this, Green Bay offensive line's been playing solid. But you made this move for Chase Young to have that type of pressure, to relieve some pressure off of the secondary. I feel like that needs to be a point of emphasis on the San Francisco side if they want to limit this offense. I think 17 points is a little bit rude for the San Francisco 49ers. All you're doing is case in point trying to say that Brock Purdy's not meant for a game like this and he's not going to be able to put points. At least that's how I take it.
You're taking it the wrong way. I think the Packers defense has turned the tide because they're playing more man coverage, they're playing more free.
Should you play man coverage against Deebo and Brandon Ayuk?
When you have the corners to do it, you can.
But can I ask you a question?
And it's
I'm
not
interested to finish.
And it's not particularly just man coverage. There's different variations.
For
so
sure.
There's some like man to man.
Yep.
You know, I have you across the line.
Yep.
But then there are match zone man coverage principles where, depending on the zone you're in, if a receiver gets into your zone,
You pick up.
you match and you man
Yep.
coverage.
Mhm.
So I think there's going to be a lot of those concepts implemented in. And from their first playoff matchup in 2021, when Joe Barry was defensive coordinator, the defensive game plan was good. I know that was against Jimmy Garoppolo, but that was still a high-powered offense that was effective offensively. I understand the 49ers being an elite offense. You're not going to find a chink in their armor with just the regular EPA drop back plays. But on late down, so 3rd and 4th down, they're a bottom 10 offense. In EPA per play, they're 24th in success rate, which means if the Packers can get the Niners into 3rd and 6, 3rd and 7, 3rd and 8, 3rd and 9 situations, now that's the advantage. And that's a situation that Brock Purdy doesn't play particularly well in. I think that there's a turnover or two in Brock Purdy in this game. I do think that there's going to be pressure in his face. The Packers have a great interior defensive line.
Mm-hmm.
And, you know, I understand getting pressure on Jordan Love, but Jordan Love is elite under pressure. We've seen
He was
the
against
Cowboys.
for sure.
He's been that all year, though. It
Oh,
hasn't
no,
even
agreed.
been
I'm just
against
going
Cowboys.
off what we saw last, of course.
Jordan Love is poised, and the way he's playing, the confidence he has, the command he has at the line to switch plays, I feel like the way he's quarterback and he's matured so much, and this feels like a quarterback that has just caught fire at the right time, a team that has caught fire at the right time, and they have nothing to lose.
If it wasn't obvious because I didn't say it flat out, I am going to go with the Niners in this one. I do anticipate that Jordan Love, he should have a solid game, no doubt about it, because he's been playing some unbelievable football these last few weeks. I anticipate Aaron Jones to have himself a solid ball game. But at the end of the day, the Niners do have the better offense. With the Packers playing as elite as they've been these last few weeks, I still anticipate that it should be a light show on San Francisco's side, and they should definitely come away with the W here.
Where you going, Dehls?
But I would take Packers points. I think that it's
disrespecting
disrespectful.
your guy, bro.
Who was they?
he picked the Niners, right?
Yes.
Oh,
And I said 17 points
I don't
is
know why.
rude to Brock.
yeah. My
Why
question.
is it not rude to Brock? It's rude to the offense. Why we got to make Brock? Brock's not the centerpiece of this offense.
Good to know. Noted.
He's not.
My
Noted.
question has this Packers second. You think this Packers secondary is really great enough to hold up an offense with Debo? With that, like they haven't seen nothing like this. And I know you bring up Dallas, and I know that, like Drew mentioned, that was the last memory we have. But outside of CeeDee Lamb, you're not too worried about anybody on Dallas on that offense, you know. And the thing is, now
I don't want to get disrespectful on Jake Ferguson. He's
well,
been really
in
good.
comparison to now you're
for
playing
sure,
the Niners,
fair.
and now you worry about Kittle. Now you worry about Ayuk, Debo, and then you cannot forget about CMC when he gets in the pass game. So it's definitely a challenge because you mentioned because Packers secondary when they do play man, they're a great unit. You know, they have a collection of good vets in Jair Alexander and then the young rookies and the young studs. So they're a good secondary, but like this is a different, like this is Niners in San Fran, fresh off a bye. From my understanding, they're actually one of the best teams in the league off a bye. You know, and I
2 weeks off essentially. They didn't play week 18.
No, they
had
don't.
the week off for the bye.
It's and their losses this year. I get it. They've been behind. You know, against the Ravens, tough team. Brock Purdy played terrible against the Bengals. Towards the late end of the third quarter into the fourth, Brock Purdy threw some back-breaking interceptions in the red zone, just cost him the game. Vikings, Browns games, they were hurt. They pretty depleted in their offense, but this is a team that is it's really dangerous offensively. Like you mentioned, though, the Packers don't have shit to lose. You know, I don't think Jordan Love plays bad. I really do think he plays a good game. You know, I think if it's going to come down to anything, it would be the fact that the Niners are just going up and down the field. You know, I think the Packers offense will be able to score some points. But I do got the Niners. You know, I don't think Purdy or Brock, excuse my language, I don't think the Niners or Brock get really too behind in this game. I think even if they're down 7, they'll still be able to move up the field. I think they've been waiting for this moment to get back in the playoffs. Like you mentioned, the Packers on the mission where this is a team that walked into the NFC Championship game and had to play with their third-string quarterback. So this is another team that feels like they're on a mission. They missed out on the Super Bowl last year. They're on a mission to conquer the NFC. And with Dallas and the Eagles out, there was no chance before, we thought, but now there's really no chance for a team to come in there. They feel like I'm saying for them to come in there and beat them in San Fran because they got a home field advantage throughout the play up into the Super Bowl. So I got the Niners here. I think they win this game. They should win this game.
I do think out of all of the underdogs this week, I have a feeling that the Packers could be the one team that gets the upset here. My other 3 picks I feel pretty confident about, but the Packers, the writing's on the wall for an upset.
Just disrespect the twin.
Well, because the Ravens smoked the Niners, so yeah.
The Ravens are also
They beat every good team.
I can't even hate on that.
But it's more so just because how well this offense is playing. The Texans offense is playing great too, don't get me wrong. But the way this Packers offense is playing, the way Jordan Love, his confidence, his command of this offense, and now you have Aaron Jones to pair with that, who looked as good as Aaron Jones has looked in a Green Bay Packers uniform, even
Absolutely.
at 29 years old. He's looked explosive, and oddly enough, those early season injuries probably were for the best because he's not getting that wear and tear on his body. Right now, probably feels like week 6 to him, where he has plenty left in the tank and he could go and, you know,
For sure.
be the focal point of this run game. You just have so much going right for the Packers, quarterback, running back, and then the play calling and just the amount of weapons this team has. There's not many teams, and I don't even think you could say the Niners, who have 7 guys you could legitimately go to and feel comfortable about. Christian Watson when healthy, Romeo Doubs, Jaden Reed, your guy Wicks,
Romeo Doubs.
Yeah, Kraft, Musgrave, and Aaron Jones. So there's 7 dudes who, if they have the ball in their hand, I feel fine about it. They're all playmakers. They're all guys that could break tackles or have speed or bring something to the table that when you go 7 deep on a lot of rosters, you're not finding that. You're lucky if you go 3-4 deep. So they have a plethora of options. And then Matt LaFleur, how great he's been. I know you mentioned a similar stat, Joel. I don't remember if it's the exact one, but this is from Keegan Abdu on Twitter, which talked about the first drive of the game of this Cowboys-Packers game, where Matt LaFleur basically took advantage of what's the option? What's he?
San Fran kind of has the same amount.
7?
Kinda. Brandon, Debo, Jawan, Ronnie, George,
Ronnie who?
Ronnie Bell.
Are you kidding me?
You're fucking trolling.
He's caught some balls.
We're talking about good.
I mean, just mentioned Kraft. I mean, you mentioned like.
What do you mean, Tucker Craft? He has like 400 plus yards this season receiving.
Ronnie Bell has touchdowns
Tucker
this year.
Did you mention Bo Melton? He's kind of good too.
Bo Melton came out. He didn't even mention him.
All I'm saying
he's
is
kinda
I'm
good
just
too.
naming
Yo,
guys.
Ronnie
Bro,
Bell's nuts.
relax.
He
Relax.
scored
Relax.
touchdowns.
You reached hard, but
I am reaching.
You reached crazy.
Oh, dude.
You
Bo
reached
Melton
crazy.
is probably
Who
better
are the
than
guys that you named? Because
They
you
have-
said 7. Obviously, I'm respecting Romeo.
Wicks,
respecting Wicks.
Watson,
Going to respect
Reed.
Watson's been inconsistent, but we know he's solid when he's
Reed.
on the
Bro,
field. Reed.
Musgrave.
Can you guess Ronnie Bell's statistics?
He has like 100.
He has like
107
200
yards.
and a
Six
touchdown.
catches for 68 yards, bro.
Oh, he scored a touchdown though.
He has 3 touchdowns.
3 touchdowns.
I'm
That's
not
what
gonna
I'm
lie,
saying.
that was
He has
casual
thir-
as
he has
fuck.
All I
13
said, he scored
he has 13
touchdowns.
That was casual as
I-
fuck.
He's
He's not
to be
used in the
honest.
offense.
No, he scored 3
Like
touchdowns.
they got 7 dudes that are using this
Casual.
How am I
offense.
calling him a touchdown? I know that he scored multiple times.
Casual
Ronnie
alert.
Bell, bro.
I understand that he's not a great option, but I'm saying he's someone that they've
He's not even a good option.
No. All I'm saying is that they've used him and they scored
Ronnie Bell's gonna have a
touchdowns.
touchdown on Sunday now.
Wow.
Now,
Or
what did he
Saturday,
do? That'd be
whatever
fucking
play.
hilarious.
I mean, honestly, it would be a shock, but still,
Ronnie
he's
Bell
used
is
him enough.
comfortably the 8th best player on
no,
this.
I
Bo
agree.
Melton is better.
I'll take Bo Melton.
Yeah.
All right,
Definitely
so
gonna bring
again,
him.
Malik
let's-
Heath might be better.
Huh?
Malik
Who?
Heath might be better.
I-
All right, so
Yeah, there.
let's take
Yeah,
away
I don't know who
Bell,
that
who
is.
again I only use because I know he has touchdowns on this team. It's Debo, it's Brandon, it's Jawan, it's George, and of course Christian McCaffrey. And Juszczyk also gets used very minimally, of course, but that's an option that they go.
Juszczyk?
Bro named the fullback.
What?
Regardless, can we move on from this
Okay.
discussion?
Jawan Jennings
Because
is probably like the 7th best on the Packers.
Jawan
Jawan
Jennings is
solid.
really good.
He's a
No,
solid number.
He's solid. I'll
He's
go
solid
back to
three.
solid.
He's
solid
average. He's average. He's average.
You used to really like Jawan Jennings.
You did love Jawan Jennings.
Jawan Jennings is the perfect third
Yeah,
receiver.
agreed.
I agree.
Like he's the perfect like Dontavian Wicks and all these guys. They are legitimately number 2s on like a lot of teams in the NFL.
It could be 2.
They don't have a true number 1, but they have a plethora of just like number 2 guys
I don't
that
know,
can
Jaden-
win.
I like Jaden Reed a lot.
Jaden Reed's a dog.
I mean, Dontavian Wicks he's gonna be a
Jaden
star.
Reed didn't do shit.